Welcome back, my people. In this video, I'm gonna give you a little bit of story about persistence. So if you want to learn more about how to increase your persistence, or if you just want to hear this story, which I think you should, I need you to stand by and watch this, and we'll see you on the other side. So in this video, I'm talking to you about persistence, but before I actually give you more about what persistence is, let me just tell you a little story. So for me, man, I never ever used to have persistence. I don't think it was up until the time of maybe when I was old enough to actually start having kids, and when I was maybe about 23 years old, when I realized persistence really goes a long way. So for me, man, I grew up with a lot of brothers and sisters, and I think it was probably it was 5 of us all together, but I had cousins as well that were always around that I treated like brothers and sisters. And what I remember is that it was a lot of competition. You know, we always wanted to be the best. Either one of us could win at anything. But for me, a lot of times, man, I always found myself quitting. Why? Because I was getting my ass beat. But with that being said, I never really understood the concept of what persistence was. So I remember going into my junior year of high school and getting ready to go out for the football team. You know, I had played the previous years, but this year I was like, man, you know what? I ain't feeling it. You know how a lot of these different high school kids will get in the mix and they're feeling like, you know what? That's not for me anymore, just due to the lack of being lazy or whatever it was. But for me, man, I went in and I told my high school coach, I said, Coach, you know what? I don't want to play football no more. It's not me. I don't really love it. And it just wasn't for me at the time. And, you know, I wanted to just focus on school, but really I was just being lazy. I didn't want to play. I didn't feel like I was getting the reps. And again, it was just because I just was being lazy. What high schooler kid, you know, if your love and your passion is not really in it for football or any sport, you just don't want to play. But I'm so glad that I had my coach, and his name was Coach Leroy Smith. Coach Leroy actually helped me out by changing my mind. It was a conversation that we had, and I'll never forget it. He told me, he said, listen, you're not quitting. I looked at him like, who the hell is this guy to tell me I'm not quitting? I can do what I want. But, you know, that's what I'm thinking in my head. But what he told me was so important that I still stick to today. And he told me, he said, listen, if you quit now, you're going to quit forever. If you quit now, you're going to continue to quit. And, you know, I had to sit back at him and I was watching him wobble down the hall because he had just hurt his leg. But anyway, I was just thinking like, man, you know, he right. If I quit now, no telling what I'm gonna quit here later in life. So I really had to take that message and I ran with it. And what I started to notice is that my persistence started to increase. My persistence for the love and the affection that I had for different things that I were doing, it'll increase. You know, like I said, I used to get beat in every type of Monopoly game. I used to get beat in all type of races and all that. But what I noticed is that even if I lose, the will for me to want to go back, it led to something. So I had to figure out what was it that pushed me and it continued to push me to be the best that I possibly could be. And what I learned was persistence. So one of my favorite books, one that I always encourage, is Think and Grow Rich. Make sure y'all get that. If this is not in your library, I don't know where the hell you've been, but you definitely need to include this into your library today. All right. So listen, in persistence, which is chapter 9 in this, it basically states that persistence is an essential factor in the procedure of transmitting your desires into monetary equivalent. So the basis of this is that you can really push your desires to become fully aware and in your face if you just use and harness the power of persistence. Okay, it goes on to state this. The basis of persistence is the power of will. So what is your will? How much are you willing to sacrifice? What are you willing to put aside? Listen, the will is honestly what has been able to transition this world. If you didn't have the power and the persistence of will, we would not have a lot of the different technologies that we have. We wouldn't have a lot of the actors, musicians, talented athletes that we have here today. So I challenge you today. What have you not been persistent on? Sit back and think about it. Write down 5 things that you have been persistent on, and write down 5 things that you want to become more persistent in. Understand that applying persistence will be able to have you to go further in your life, and it won't have you to fail. Listen, if you have persistence, you'll never fail because you will continuously fight. Einstein failed over 1,000 times, or was it 1,000, 10,000, whatever it was, a lot. Most of us failed after the first time. So the fact that he was able to consistently push forward and to get to his goals lets you know that persistence is what it takes. You can fail 1,000 times. Now I said Einstein, I meant to actually say Edison. Anyway, you know what I mean. But this is what I want you to take from this message right now. Persistence is the only thing that will have you to never fail. You will never fail if you're persistent in your goals. So continue to fight for what you love. Continue to fight for the things that you want, and add in persistence. And make sure that you add this book to your library, because if you haven't, you're missing out, all right? Add this to your library and continue to open up your higher awareness. But also, if you like the jacket and the hoodies and everything that we're wearing that you see on this actual channel, make sure you go to culturalnotoriety.com. Click on the merch, and you go get you a nice comfy hoodie, man. Go get your girl one too. She might even like it. Go get your brother, your auntie, your niece, your uncle, your mama one. Cool. So make sure you do that. Support the channel. And again, if you like this information and this content that we are bringing to you every single day, make sure that you like, subscribe, and hit that notification bell. That way you can see more of this pretty face. And that way you can get more of this great information that's going to take you to the next level. All right. So we'll see you on the next episode. You have a great day.